Peak oil versus science. You know what, man? I think they're gonna figure out some other shit besides oil. I think it makes sense. I think there's a lot of stuff they could do with agriculture. There's a lot of stuff they could do with hydrogen. There's a lot of stuff. It's just we could have come up with something else. It's just we got bamboozled into going the way of the oil because it was easy and cheap and it was already in place, and we stayed with oil. But I don't think society's going to crumble because we run out of oil. I think we'll come out with something just as good.
Did you hear those new Mini Coopers in the cold, the electric ones? In cold weather, it only gets half the power. How big is that?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because they're only good for like 100 miles as it is.
Right.
So in cold weather, it goes for 50 miles.
50 miles.
That makes sense because your battery's more dead in
Right.
cold weather.
Yep.
Oh, what pieces of shit.
Yeah, but imagine buying that car. That's an expensive car. Imagine.
You know what Top Gear did? You know that show Top Gear, the
Yeah.
BBC, awesome show. They took one of those Priuses, an electric car, and they drove it around a track with a Prius is a hybrid, right? They drove it around a track with an M3. And all the M3 had to do was keep up with the Prius. That's all it had to do. The Prius went full blast around the track, and the M3, obviously a much faster car. All it had to do was just keep up. The Prius got 13 miles to the gallon, and the M3 got 19. So when the Prius drives hard, it's just as much of a piece of shit as any other car. It's like it's nonsense. It's like it's fake being green, and apparently it's much more toxic to the environment to create a Prius than it is to create.
Well,
a regular
I
car.
thought how it worked is Priuses only are electric under 25 miles an hour or something like that.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, for stop and go traffic, it's running off battery. Over that, it's just a normal car.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And over that, as a normal car, it's terrible with gas.
Yeah, it's just a small shitty.
Terrible, goddamn piece of shit.